We'd like to call this meeting into session. If you don't mind, can you join me in word of prayer? Okay.
I like it.
I can't kill it. Done it. No one's going to do
All right, let us pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you for the privilege of gathering today and to serve the people of our city. Grant this council wisdom to make sound decisions, courage to do what is right, and compassion for every citizen we represent. May our actions bring unity, bring hope, progress, and peace. And may everything we do honor you. It's in your name that we pray. Let every heart say amen. Amen. Now let's the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Council, if you don't mind, we have resolution number 2026-32 that we want to move up, and we'll move it up right after honors and recognitions, if that's okay.
So moved. Second.
Great. Now we have, is there anything else that needs to be readjusted, council?
I think you made a motion.
Okay, I don't think we have to vote on that. Now we will adopt the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Oh, so you're right. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposes? The ayes have it. Now, approval of minutes,
So
council.
move.
We've
Second.
got June 8th. June 8th, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Now we have June 15th.
Motion.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Now we have June 22nd.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
The aye opposed, the ayes have it. Now we will have honors and recognition. This is Brandon Neal, 10 years police department.
So Corporal Neal joined the Florence Police Department in July 2016 after graduating from the South Carolina Criminal Justice Academy. He began as a patrol officer, quickly earning the respect of colleagues and supervisors because of his strong work ethic and positive attitude. So in 2019, he received the rank of senior police officer and soon after joined the Community Action Team, where he spent nearly 2 years strengthening relationships with community stakeholders. In 2021, he was promoted to field training officer and returned to the patrol division to help train new officers. In September of 2023, he advanced to corporal and moved to the Criminal Investigations Division, where he served as the lead investigator for the Special Victims Unit. In March 2026, Brandon Neal returned to Patrol Division, where he now currently serves as an assistant supervisor. Congratulations.
Are we seated? Let's move over just a little bit. This is the center. There you go. You want to say anything?
I just appreciate the opportunity I've had to work here at the city and play the state for many more years as the city admin. It's been an honor to serve the city of Florence. I look forward to continuing my career path and going through the ranks and really serving with y'all for many more years.
Thank you, buddy.
Thank you so much. Next, we will have resolution number 2026-32. This is a resolution to proclaim August 2nd through 8th, 2026, a National Healthcare Week in the city of Florence. What say ye?
So move.
Second.
Amanda?
Thank you. This is sponsored by Mayor Barnes. Whereas for over 50 years, community health centers have provided high-quality, affordable, comprehensive primary and preventative health care in our nation's underserved communities, delivering value to and having a significant impact on America's healthcare system. And whereas individuals are able to receive patient-focused, comprehensive healthcare services, including preventative primary care and dental care, case management, behavioral health services, maternal and child care, and enabling services from community-based facilities across the Palmetto State. And whereas, in addition to contributing to improved health in our communities, these facilities help lower the cost of health care by reducing inappropriate emergency room and hospital utilization and have a positive impact on the communities they serve. And whereas community health centers continue to prove an effective means of overcoming barriers to healthcare access, including geography, income, and insurance status. And whereas during National Health Center Week, we celebrate Hope Health and their vital role in making the Florence community a better place and recognize their dedicated staff, board members, patients, and all those responsible for their continued success and growth. Now therefore be it resolved that the City Council of the City of Florence does hereby proclaim August 2nd through 8th, 2026 as National Health Center Week throughout the city and encourage all residents to recognize the important contributions of community health centers in safeguarding the health and improving the quality of life for the residents of the City of Florence.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. We have with us from Hope Health, Derek Brown and Sally King. Would you please come so we can present you this? Yes, here we go. Give it to you. Yeah, there we go. Would you care to say it? Sure. This way.
So thank you, Mayor Barnes, members of the City Council, and everyone here today for this proclamation recognizing National Health Center Week. We're deeply grateful for the strong partnership we share with the City of Florence. Thank you very much for that. Across the country, community health centers now serve more than 52 million people, and here in Florence County, we serve about 60,000 people. We have 12 locations in Florence County. We provide comprehensive whole person care that goes far beyond primary care while supporting 420 local jobs. From pharmacy and behavioral health services to endocrinology, rheumatology, care coordination, and much more, we help meet the diverse needs of our patients, bringing high quality, accessible care close to home. Mayor Barnes, we are thankful for the City of Florence's continued collaboration and shared commitment to building a healthier community. Together, we are helping fulfill Hope Health's mission to serve others, give hope, and change lives. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Okay, next, council, we have ordinance and position. Bill number 2026-25 is the second reading. An ordinance to rezone the parcel located at 901 Rose Street from NC to 6.1 to NC to 6.2, identified as Florence County Tax Map number 90114-13-004. What say you?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Next, we have introduction to ordinance. It's bill number 2026-17. It's a first reading. An ordinance to authorize the execution of an amendment to extend the lease agreement between the City of Florence and PD Healthy Start. I think that item will be discussed in executive session. Next, we have bill number 2026. It's a first reading, an ordinance to rezone NC 6.1 to CR to parcel located at 106 South Homestead Drive, identified as county tax map number 90034-17-005. What say ye?
So, second.
107 South Homestead, yes. Thank you, Mayor and members of council. This property is located at 107 South Hampstead, or Homestead Drive, rather. And here's a close-up of the parcel. As you can see, it is currently zoned NC 6.1. It is adjacent to commercially zoned parcels, but it does have one parcel that would be in between it and commercially zoned parcels that would be left as residential. The proposed zoning is commercial reuse, which is one of our lightest commercial zoning designations. It is the site of a current home, as you can see, and that is typically what commercial reuse does is it repurposes an existing home or a very light professional type use. It does allow some retail, but primarily for professional type uses such as real estate offices, law offices, accountants, things of that nature. And you can see the picture on the bottom right would be the house that would be between it and the residential or the commercially zoned area. And Planning Commission did recommend 5-1 to rezone this parcel from NC 6.1 to commercial reuse.
Yes, Council.
Jerry, is the plan to keep for the home to remain the building that's on the property to remain?
Yes, they want to repurpose that structure.
Okay, and if they were to want to do a demo at some point in the future and put something else on that, would that have to go through the design review board and all of that?
Not the design review board, but it would have to go through your typical planning review against the zoning code. And it still will, to be converted as it is. They would still have to put in the appropriate buffering, parking, and anything required of the zoning code. So they still have to go through the full review, even to repurpose the building.
What kind of buffering are you talking about?
They would, I'll have to look it up specifically, but it would be a vegetative buffer between them and the adjacent residential. I think it's 10 feet.
Some form of shrubs of some sort?
Shrubs and trees, that's correct, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Councilman?
Jerry, the one board member on planning, did they give the reason of opposing?
They did not, but some of the discussion did center around that one parcel left behind. But I will note that they did receive notice in the mail, and there was no, they didn't show up. So I don't know how they feel about it. Yeah, or there was no response. So yeah.
Okay.
I have a question.
Okay.
And I think you may have answered it already. I might have missed it. The parcel that's, all right, so I'm looking at, can you go back to the, no, not that one. There you go.
Yeah, there you
All right, so the parcel that's in the middle, that's just a lot, an empty lot? I don't see a picture of that in
go. Yeah. So the one in red is the one in question, and the one just to the north of it in the orange,
Yeah.
there's actually a single family detached home there. Yeah.
Was it on the picture?
It was, yeah. It's this little small white home here on the bottom right.
Okay.
And the
it-
one here is to the left of it. So that's more interior to the neighborhood. Yeah. And the gray one, the one right here is the one in question. Here's the full picture of it here. You can see both homes there. This is the one in question that they want to turn into the realtor's office, the gray one, and then the right one would be the one left in between that and commercial.
Okay.
Any other questions, council? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you. Next, we are at reports to council. Our appointments to boards and commissions will be in executive session. Next, we will have utility update.
Good afternoon, Madam Mayor and Council. This month on our utility update, we'll continue being led by Amanda on our municipal communication, specifically related to water and sewer infrastructure. They have made multiple media posts in our social media outlets as keeping up the community on various projects that are currently ongoing. On the water side, the contractor continues to make significant progress on our 30-inch extension along Freedom Boulevard. Another contractor has completed the installation of our 24-inch water line along Progress Energy Drive within the Florence Global Technology Park. And the contractor is presently 80% complete of our restructuring of capital on the GE groundwater treatment plant off of South Ebenezer Road. And the surface water contractor, they'll be mobilizing to the facility site with their trailers this month, and they're continuing to do initial work so they can go ahead and order long lead time items and get those on order because of the extensive delay in getting those materials and parts here. For us on the staff side, staff has continued to install the SCADA systems at our groundwater treatment facilities, and the facilities that are already in place, they're using that to make us more efficient on our backwash systems and operating that part of this unit. On the sewer side, the contractor we met with South Carolina Rural Infrastructure Authority for our pre-con for the sewer upgrade along David McLeod Boulevard. So that's underway. The contractor is scheduled to begin construction of a new force main along Malden Drive this month, getting that started. The engineering team has submitted to the staff for review the alternatives for the new force main along Freedom Boulevard and East Palmetto. And so we'll be meeting later this month to go through those reviews and get that project initiated and then complete design there. Also, the engineering team is continuing to get the easements in place for the Jeffrey Street Phase 1, meeting with the property owners from our meeting in June and getting those easement documents completed and signed. Stormwater contract, as you can see, is still working along Tim Rock Park and South Court Street on that project. Also going strong in Northwest Florence from Pennsylvania. We did bid out the Oakland Avenue. Those came in overbid, and Clinton and the team is working with SCORE to see additional funding on that side. So that gives council an update on utility.
Thank you so much, Michael. Is there any questions? But I think the city manager is about to do something.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, members of council. I just wanted to follow up with Mr. Hemingway's report. I wanted to announce our hiring of our Director of Water Resources, Ms. Sarah Hickman. Sarah, please come on up. Sarah is a proud graduate of Florence, South Florence High School. She earned her Bachelor of Science in Chemistry from Francis Marion University and later completed a Master of Science in Environmental Science from Webster University. With more than 17 years of experience in water and wastewater industry, Sarah's built a distinguished career in environmental compliance, laboratory management, and utility operations. Sarah served as laboratory manager for the City of Columbia Metro Wastewater Treatment Plant, the largest wastewater treatment plant facility in South Carolina, for about 6 years. In this role, she collaborated with the U.S. EPA consent decree. She led laboratory data collection supporting multi-million-dollar capital improvement projects, and she hired and trained laboratory personnel. In 2020, she relocated to the Low Country and joined the Hilton Head Public Service District as water quality supervisor. Her responsibilities included overseeing the daily operation of the water quality lab, ensuring regulatory compliance, addressing customer concerns related to water quality, and training new operators. She's earned numerous professional certifications, including the 2024 South Carolina Environment Association Crystal State Award in Excellence in Water Laboratory Operations. She represented the United States in 2024 Integrated Factory Acceptance Testing World Competition in Germany, earning first place in wastewater process control and a silver medal for overall performance in the wastewater professional category. She also earned in 2025 the Department of Environmental Services Laboratory Excellence Award. Again, I present to you Ms. Sarah Hickman.
because it took a long, you were a long time coming.
Well, I'll just say that I'm very excited to be back in my hometown and to be working for the city of Florence. I'm very fortunate to work alongside a group of very talented and highly motivated people throughout the city, especially on the executive leadership team and at water production. So I'm happy to be here and looking forward to what we accomplish in the future.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, there's a question.
I just have one question for Scotty. Scotty. I'm sorry. I don't put you on the spot yet. I'm sorry. Over the weekend, there was a water main break over the weekend that was repaired. Can you speak on that as far as, I guess, what was the cause of it briefly?
Yes, certainly. Yes, we did have a water main break over the weekend in the Pine Forest area, Old Mill subdivision. We had to shut off a number of houses in that unit, in that area to fix that, repair that. That was done by an outside contractors, actually specifically AT&T there, and we're working through that process.
And I have a question as far as any accountability. If there's a third party that breaks a line, like what's the process of some type of accountability for people being out of order for a significant portion of time?
When we find a line break, if we can identify the contractor, we will charge that cost to them. Obviously, we incur significant cost, not only the loss of water, but manpower and efforts there. So we do have to identify the contractor, ensure that they followed all the proper channels, meaning they call the city or call the 811 number for utility locates. We make sure that we've located our water lines and marked those lines. They continue to do the work and break that, we will charge them.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
I still have my original question.
Yes.
This one's not for you, y'all, for the, yeah, you come back, Mr. Hemingway. My question is Pennsylvania, Street. How long is that process gonna take, or how long will it take for the work to be completed?
Well, I'm gonna pass that to Clint in more detail. Clint is the project manager on that particular project, so I'll yield to him and let him give you some details on that particular project. All right, yes, ma'am.
Hey, Councilwoman. We've got about another month worth of work left to do. Most of the major improvements have been installed. We've got a few pieces that some of the laterals, catch basins, things like that need to be installed. But once that is finished, it's really going to be about the cleanup and overall general maintenance throughout that area to make sure things are put back the way they were found. So we don't have too much left on that project. Looking forward to being done with it. Like all these that we have in some of our older neighborhoods, we find a lot of fun things in the ground that we have to continue to work on. So.
And what about Oakland Avenue?
Oakland Avenue, we received bids last week. It was the lowest bid was $1.5 million over our budget. We are meeting Thursday with the Office of Resilience to discuss that. There's a few avenues to get the project going. So I expect us to have the general contractor a contract in the next 2 to 3 weeks and moving forward with the project. So really about figuring out which direction we go to bring everything in budget and additional funding and things like that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next we will have, council, if you don't mind, let's see, which one is that? It is the ordinance, bill number 2026 that we're going to discuss about PD Healthy Start in executive session. They have shown up and they would like to speak. If it is okay, can they speak to us in executive session before we discuss? Is that okay, legally? Yes. And so when we go into executive session, you'll be first on the agenda on that. That'll be good? Okay. Okay. So next we have city manager's report. Oh no, we have reports on the NORS ordinance.
That's executive session. Legal advice.
No, I think he's gonna give us the information.
Sure. Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, I was just going to give a very brief overview of what we have on the books as far as noise ordinances, as well as what other cities are doing and the process to change our codes. So the current city codes, they reside in two places. We have them in the Code of Ordinances and also the Unified Development Ordinance, which typically contains our zoning and development codes. And they're not always in agreement. So if we do touch the noise ordinance, it would be a good chance to either have them reside in one place and or bring them into agreement with one another. We typically, as staff, when we go enforcing these, we go with the most restrictive because that's what our code goes for or requires. But in the Code of Ordinances, noise is generally prohibited that negatively affects others. But then it goes on to define specific types of noise and have, specific examples or definitions and or requirements for each one, such as animals, noise emanating from animals, landscaping equipment, construction activities. Construction activities have some times associated with them when they could carry on those activities and then not. Vehicles and exhaust and horns, things like loud mufflers and that nature. Drums, coming from, because that's often, when you have a live band, that's often the loudest part of it. Also peddlers or hawkers on the street, as well as loudspeakers or amplified music, and yelling and shouting. And in the Code of Ordinances, some exceptions do apply for public events. And time conditions for construction and yelling and shouting. So like when we have the Pecan Festival downtown, obviously that's an exception to that because it's a rare occurrence and it's fun for everyone downtown. So we obviously allow that. Within the Unified Development Ordinance, it's a little more current when it was adopted in 2018, but it is based on decibel levels. It does vary by zoning district. It includes some time restrictions within each of the zoning districts. It also includes similar exceptions for construction activities, landscaping equipment that's in short duration, ag equipment, because, folks that do have farms or small farms adjacent or near the city have to carry on with their activities, as well as, sirens and things, emergency type devices. It also includes vibrations in the noise ordinance in the Unified Development Ordinance. So it does address vibrations that could occur from construction or vehicles or anything of that nature, or even music in some cases. And there's also conditional requirements that are scattered throughout the Unified Development Ordinance. If you want to open, let's say, an animal grooming facility within the city, within the conditions to do that, there may be some more specific noise requirements. And I'll go over a few of those that I picked out of the code here in just a second. So within the Unified Development Ordinance, generally we define the daytime hours from 7 to 10 p.m. and the nighttime hours from 10 p.m. to 7 a.m. And within residential and ag districts, we require 55 decibels at both daytime and nighttime. And I've got another slide right after this that goes over what some of this means as well. And within commercial districts, and this applies to all of the general commercial districts, including the downtown and the general commercial, it's 75 decibels during the daytime and 70 in the evening or nighttime hours. And in the campus and industrial, it's 80 during the day and 60 in the nighttime. And this is measured at the property line, it's not necessarily right on the business. So if you've got a large enough parcel, that helps too with a lot of this. And here's a general overview of what different sounds and the decibel levels. Our code also has a similar chart in it, but like a jackhammer or a concert is getting into that 120 to 130 decibels. That's loud. So that's very loud. But then you get down to normal conversation, and that's going to be in the range of 55 to 60 decibels. So, that's still, that's quiet, but you got to think if you were trying to sleep, and you heard that right outside your window, it could be a disturbance. So, and then a vacuum cleaner, I think most of those ranges were in that 75 to 80 decibel range, and a vacuum cleaner at close range is 80 decibels. I know my mom used to like to run the vacuum cleaner on Saturday mornings when I was trying to watch cartoons, and that was awfully disturbing. So, but that's just an example. I mentioned some of the conditional uses, outlined in our Unified Development Ordinance. For temporary events, depending on time and location, it allows 50 to 85 decibels. Industrial uses, I talked about the ranges, but they must mitigate noises if they're adjacent to a use that doesn't sync up. So if they're adjacent to residential or even commercial uses, you have to mitigate those through buffers or through buildings that buffer that noise. Bars, it's dependent upon the zoning district and the proximity to residential. Obviously if you've got and whether it's an outside seating area or not, because that sound carries a lot more when it's outside versus inside. So there's some specialized requirements there. Animal boarding and grooming, which I already mentioned. You got to have buildings that reduce or with building materials that reduce those noises. Mobile food vendors, they can't have big loudspeakers or things that attract people to their site. And restaurants with drive-ins or drive-throughs next to residential must have a buffer yard installed. That's because they typically have the loudspeakers where they're getting the orders from. So these are just some of the specialized requirements, and there's more sprinkled throughout the Unified Development Ordinance as well, depending on the use, but these are some of the big ones. And just to outline, I know the downtown area is always the one that comes into question, and the one we typically get the most complaints about noise from. And this is an outline of our central business district, which is essentially our downtown area. And as you can see, it goes all the way from the old Circle Park facility all the way over to the border with McLeod or the hospital. And northward, it goes up to Darlington Street and all the way down almost to the National Cemetery there. But it includes a number of blocks within our downtown area. And it's a mixed use district here, so we do allow residential and commercial uses. And obviously if you're a resident in a downtown area, you've got to be accustomed to a little more noise than you would in other areas. But businesses also have to respect, under our current code, certain hours of being quiet. So, and a quick overview of what other municipalities in South Carolina are doing. Generally, and I picked out the downtown areas or the commercial areas within the various cities. Florence, as I've already said, from 7 to 10, they have a maximum of 75 decibels, and then from 10 to 7, a maximum of 70 decibels. In the Greenville area, in the Greenville city downtown area in the central business district, it's very similar. They do have a higher decibel level than us. They go up to 80 during the day and 75 during the evening hours. Aiken, in their downtown area, they have the similar as Greenville with the decibel requirements, and they also allow their time goes another hour longer, so it goes to 11 p.m. Instead of the 10 p.m. And then municipalities where they don't have specific decibel requirements, they kind of just have the more generalized code. But some things I picked out there for interest was Columbia. They prohibit noise from disturbing hotels or dwellings between 10 and 7 citywide. Charleston prohibits amplified music and brass and drum instruments between 11 and 7 a.m. citywide. They do have some specialized requirements for acoustic instruments as long as there's no brass or drum accompaniment that allows them to go until midnight within Charleston for acoustic performances. Myrtle Beach prohibits radio, stereo instruments between 11 and 7. So they have similar to Aiken with the 11 to 7. And Spartanburg, one thing of interest that they did that could work for us is that they allow for the granting of a temporary entertainment permit. So specialized permits that would be issued at certain intervals, throughout the year. For special events. And if we were to amend the codes, because one resides in the Code of Ordinances and the other in the Unified Development Ordinance, each one has a specialized requirement. Basically, the Code of Ordinances only requires council action. It requires 2 readings of council, but a council member or a citizen may request a public hearing prior to the final adoption. And in the Unified Development Ordinance, Planning Commission has to hold a public hearing and provide a recommendation to council prior to council hearing it, and then it would go through the normal 2-reading process for adoption. And that concludes staff's report. I tried to keep it thorough but brief.
Thank you so much. Okay. All right. Next. Thank you, Jerry. Next, we have city manager's report.
Thank you, Mayor and members of council. First, we'll start with the police. We've secured a Flock Safety Mobile Security Trailer. Like you to see, this is part of our Safe City initiative through Flock Safety. These trailers will enhance public safety and deter criminal activity. They're equipped with 2 pan-tilt zoom cameras, panoramic camera, a public address system, and a blue security light there. We also have the automated license plate readers as well. In major events or like the Pecan Festival or our Florence Festival, we will use these. Obviously, if we have areas of high crime, we can put these out as well. So wanted to show the public and certainly council that we're continuing to move forward to keep Florence safe. Our police department is also working on a new initiative with our vulnerable adults. As you know, it's very hot in South Carolina, and particularly Florence this time of year. The police department has partnered with our community partners to deliver Arctic air fans to seniors in need. We're working with Helping Florence Flourish and Chris Hanley. They've donated approximately 20 of those fans. We'll also be working with our faith-based community. I think there's a meeting scheduled at the end of this month to solicit donations and input there. And this is something, again, that our chief is working diligently on to continue to address the needs of our most vulnerable adults. July is PRT month. We're celebrating our Parks, Recreation, and Tourism month in July. And obviously we had a major event, our festival, 4th of July festival. There are other fireworks that happen on the July 4th. Councilman McKay got engaged.
Congratulations.
Our 4th of July event was a roaring success. We had about 9,360 in attendance there. Average attendance was about 128 minutes. From 8 to 10 p.m. Was peak time there. We had people as far away as the Netherlands, South Africa, and Puerto Rico. Now, according to Victoria, they came only for that event.
Right.
But we had a great time at the 4th of July. I certainly thank all of council. And I have to, it was certainly an event that required the efforts, a team effort there. But Victoria Nash, I want Victoria to stand up.
Yes.
Victoria spearheaded the event and did all the heavy lifting there. Certainly we had fire and police and every every department in the city participated in that. One time when you're looking at an event and you speak with your sponsors and the day of the event or the next day when sponsors are calling saying, hey, can I participate it here? Take my money, please, for next year. Our sponsor, our main sponsor again, was MUSC. We're certainly appreciative and proud of all their efforts there. And they've already called again and asked to be our presenting sponsor next year. So we're very excited about that. And certainly we've spoken with Madam Mayor and other members of council on working on making this bigger and better next year. Thank you again for all of your support there. And finally, in PRT, our Tennis Pro Tournament is July 26th through August 2nd. July 26th through August 2nd. We have a Tennis Pro Tournament event there at our Florence Tennis Center, which is undergoing renovations there. There are $2 million grant from our Bruce and Lee Foundation and $1 million that council set aside through hospitality tax. Thank you.
Hey, Scotty,
Yes.
I wanted to recognize the mayor for one of the most heartfelt national anthems that she sang with her trio. That was a great job.
She did do a great job.
Thank you. Thank you.
And I also want to say too, I had so many calls on the drone show. That was, I think, one of the parts that
Highlights.
everybody enjoyed.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
They
drone
talked
show is
about that for
fantastic.
days afterwards, so that was very good.
There
Bigger
are
and
200
better.
to 300
Yes.
drones to make that show happen.
Wow. Yeah. Very good.
That was awesome. Victoria, you did do. That was great. Looking forward to next year.
So we know to put more money in your budget. Towards
Please don't.
Scott is like, wait a minute.
Sponsorship.
I know, right?
Yeah, but that sponsorship piece when MUSC was up in the sky like that, oh my God.
Yes.
So sponsors?
Yes.
The Betty Law Firm.
Sounds great.
I think I heard McCall Law Firm for the Pecan Festival.
Well, the guys from the drone asked could they work with the Pecan Festival to do something like that. So you all are welcome to buy sponsorships. So
That
thank you so
concludes
much.
my report.
Thank you so much. Next, we have mayor's report. I could not let this time pass without us and the city actually acknowledging the passing of Senator Lindsey Graham. This is since I've been mayor, I've visited the Capitol 5 times. And his staff and Lindsay has met with us, regardless of what side of the aisle you're on. We have in Florence received millions and millions of dollars from their contribution to us. We work very closely with his staff, and we are now looking at what does this mean. Florence had the ear of a senior person that could get money. Now we've got to start with someone moving in at the bottom. And so we pray, we know, Michael, I know, God will provide, and we are going to still do well here. But I did want to acknowledge and send heartfelt prayers to the family and ask that all the citizens do the same. That concludes my mayoral report. Next, we have the Business Development Committee.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. And before I get into that, on the same note of what you said about Senator Graham's passing, I'd also want to ask for a moment of silence for the passing of Mark Bike Jr., who was a longtime attorney here in Florence. He was 91. I can't begin to list all of his involvements. One of the things certainly with his involvement with the Doctors Bruce and Lee Foundation and his tremendous support he had for the city of Florence, working not only individually through the law firm, the Wilcox Law Firm, but also through the foundation and so many other initiatives. There's the Bike Gardens is now on Hoffmeyer as you're going out. The foundation has that, and that's named for he and his wife Julia. And their family has just been very instrumental in our community for decades. So just wanted to mention that, Madam Mayor, and how they both passed on the same day. Senator Graham and Mark Pike both passed on Saturday. So we, as Councilman Braddock had said, we're suffering some serious losses in our community here all at one time. And we just ask everybody in the community to please keep all the families in your thoughts and prayers.
Well, how about let's do that? Good suggestion. If you all don't mind, can we just do just a few minutes of silence for both Senator Lindsey Graham and Mark Bike. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Appreciate that indulgence. The Business Development Committee met on June the 25th here, and myself, along with Mayor Barnes, Councilor McKay, our city manager, as well as Michael Hemingway were there. We had a very good update on the urban square. And as you all can see, 3 stories are now finished, and they're working on the 4th story as we speak. So that's very exciting. We also got an update on Levy Park and what's going on there. The good news is that the design is complete and the final grading plan is set at 90%. They're having to get some depths of soil and water lines. And the big thing is on Pine Street, getting Pine Street rerouted and working with DOT on that. And that's always a challenge because if y'all remember, Pine Street bisects the park right now. And so you have half of it on one side of Pine and half of it on the other. And we're going to be rerouting Pine around the park, which will allow for a contiguous park all the way through, but getting DOT to get on board with everything we want to do with the rerouting of the road is challenging, but that process is underway. There has been meetings with the neighborhood, but there will be more once the design work is completed and we have more of a final product to present. So most of that is taking place at that point in time. We also got updates on other elements. We got updates on where things are with regard to the Freedom Florence football fields, the tennis courts, the new basketball court facilities, and then the utility updates that Michael already gave us. We received those, as well as general utility capital infrastructure update on what was happening with the different financial commitments that we had with regard to all of the utilities. Anything else, Madam Mayor? Anything else, Councilman? That's all the report that we have for the Business Development Committee at this time.
Thank you so much.
I did have one question. One question, George. How much was that project again for Levy Park?
It's roughly 18 million. And it's not enough. Yeah. Even though it's 18 million, as we know, it's we are in need of additional funding before we even start to turn a blade of dirt. So it's transformative. Yeah. It is truly going to be transformative.
Thank you so much. Next, we will have Community Development Committee. This committee is with Councilman Smith and Councilman McCall and myself. We met Wednesday, June 24th, and we got an update on the demolition for 215 East Darlington Street The bids have now gone out. The opening bids were set for July 14th. Then Ms. Brown also announced the sale of the newly constructed home on 412 South Gilliard Street, and it was scheduled to close on June 29th, which is already sold. And she also stated that the purchaser successfully completed a first-time home buyers program and received $25,000 on closing assistance. We also came and they outlined the status of our current neighborhood revitalization and community development block grant projects. This report include updates on housing rehabilitations, demolitions, down payment assistance, lot acquisition, home buyers workshop, and neighborhood meetings. Those are just a few things that we discuss. But as you drive through Florence, you see that there is a lot going on in our communities. I think Councilman Smith, I was a little late, and he actually started the meeting off chairing it for me, so thank you so much for that. Is there anything that I left out? That completes my report. Now we have Finance and Audit Committee.
Good afternoon, Mayor and members of council. We met on June 24th. The committee members is myself as chair, Councilman Braddock, and also Councilman Smith. During that meeting, we reviewed proposed revisions to the city's local and minority business enterprise purchasing policy. The revisions are intended to provide greater clarity by defining vendor classifications, explaining the purpose of local and minority business purposes, outlining the bid process, and establishing a local vendor match opportunity. Rather than advancing the revisions immediately, the committee agreed that it would be best to and more appropriate for a full council to receive a complete presentation and have an opportunity to ask questions. So we thought that would be best if it would be brought up during our next budget meeting in January. The committee also reviewed the June monthly financial reports, and there was no questions or concerns regarding the city's financial position. And then finally, we had a broader discussion regarding neighborhood revitalization, affordable housing initiatives, and the importance of continuing to align our financial decisions with the city's long-term priorities. And lastly, we did receive an update and timeline regarding the city's opioid settlement funding for a future meeting. And that concludes the Finance Committee's report. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Next, council, we will be entering into executive session to discuss and receipt of legal advice regarding the proposed contractual arrangement for the leased property in reference the bill number 2026-17 for boards and commissions for discussion regarding proposed economic development project, and to discuss and receipt of legal advice regarding the noise ordinance. What say ye?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
We are now in executive session. We have a 5-minute break. We are now back from executive session. Council, what say ye?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposes? We are now back in session. Just so that you know, there was no vote taken in executive session. Now we will move to the matter of bill number 2026-17. What say ye?
Your Honor, excuse me. Madam Mayor, I make a motion that we extend the lease with PD Healthy Start for a period of 5 years of, let me back up. Let me retract that.
No.
Are we just gonna say report? I got you. All right, here we go. I'm back up. Madam Mayor, I make a motion that we extend the lease with the PD Healthy Start for a period of 5 years for the sum to be negotiated with the city manager and an annual review of 1 year to be an annual report to city council on the economic benefits to the city of Florence.
Second.
I missed it all up.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.